Hello and welcome. How's everybody doing tonight? Can you guys hear and see me okay? Because my headphones are not working and it's a mystery to me. So just trying to make sure it's working. Thank you, Jesse. That was very kind of you. Can we have the CV code and the expiration date too, please, so we can run that? Awesome. Thank you, Dark Lord Minette. Thank you for being here. All right, let's see who we got, and then we'll get our guests up. Hey, Life with Blinda and Chuck. Great live with Blands last night. You guys are hilarious. Hello, Gwinnett Broke Cowgirl. Hope you're staying cool. I know you're going through some heat. So is Life with Blinda and Chuck. Hello, Lisa Kalovi. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Jesse from Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. Hope Lisa is feeling better. Send her my love. Hello, Joyful Noise and Notes. Apparently, I typed that really bad. Sorry about that. Hello, Rebecca, Touched by Yarn. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you, mods, for working. I appreciate it. Hello, Lori's World. Welcome in. Hello, Mr. Blue Collar Homestead. Hope you and your family are doing well. Say hello to Miss Page for me. Thank you, Jesse. Hello, Mrs. Lazy Days Ahead. I hope you're feeling well. Hi, Cool Gamer. Hi, Trade Designs. Hello, Tony Renee at home. Welcome in. Oh, that's wonderful, Lisa. I'm glad you can see now. No fog. That's important. That's important. And, you know, we tend to get used to how things are going, and then you change it and you're like, wow, I can see. That's awesome. I'm glad, because you're too young to have that. Yeah, thanks much. So I've got our guests backstage. So the Vineyard Chicks are backstage. And if you guys are ready, could you give us a thumbs up or, okay, good. I'm going to bring them up. And then I also have another guest backstage, and we have other people who plan to join us, but I'm going to bring the girls up first. So again, reminder, please keep this family friendly out of respect for our guests, please. Come on up, ladies.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh,
It's okay. It's okay. There you go. That's perfect.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize, please. Those are the little things in life we can deal with. I have no headphones tonight because I plug them into the mic and they're just not working. Don't know what's going on.
Well, thank you for having us on your live.
No problem. We're very happy to have you. And thank you for having me as a host on your live last weekend.
And thank you for coming. That was really fun. Yes, thank you.
It was really fun. I'm sorry I was in and out. I was trying to handle some chicken stuff with storms going on, but
yeah,
they like to run amok at dark. And I'm like, you need to get in the coop, ladies. So you guys are doing well today?
We are. How are you? Good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Is it hot by you or no?
Oh, yeah. It's like 100 degrees every day.
That's crazy, Bunkie. That is crazy. Yeah, we had warm like in the 80s, but not as hot as you guys. That makes a lot of work to take care of the animals too.
It's a little bit better in the afternoon and in the mornings, but midday is awful.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Nighttime chores are much easier once you know that 3 o'clock hits. It gets a little better.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to bring up another panel member, if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready, sir? All right. Welcome in Rich from the Old Swedes Farm.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Hi.
And so, ladies, I don't know if Rich is familiar with your channel. Could you guys each introduce yourselves to him?
So, I'm Trie, and this is KayKay, and that's Bunkie.
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Lisa brought me on. They wanted some old ugly guy. Tonight was labeled as Beauty and the Beast night. So obviously we know who's who. And and just in case, I'm ready. I know who these ladies are. So
Oh,
just
okay.
in case.
Bunkie
All
made
right.
sure we got the guitars up too.
Nice. I'm going to go to the chat for a minute. Let's see here. See who we've got. Hello, Berkshire Farm. Welcome in. Hello, Garden to Table with Heather Lynn. I don't know if you ladies can see the chat, but Mrs. Lazy Days Ahead said, "Hi, beautiful girls."
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I can.
And let's see here.
No comment about me, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on it. Let's see. Berkshire Farm said the Vineyard Chicks are awesome. Sorry, Rich, nothing about you yet.
I'm used to it. My channel, they want to see Holly and the chickens. They don't want to see me.
Jesse at Lazy Days Ahead said, "Hello, Rich and Holly." Berkshire Farm said, "Such polite young ladies." Tony Renee at home said, "Hello, Rich." Lori's World said, "Hi, Rich." And Sandy is here. Hi, Sandy from Suburban Homesteader.
Hi.
So girls, why don't you talk a little bit about your channel? I'm sure everybody knows who you are, but talk a little bit about your channel so everybody knows where you're coming from when we talk about growing food.
Yeah.
Our big talkers.
We
We first started our channel so that we could share our homestead adventures with our family after we moved out here. And we each have our own section of the farm that we take care of. Bunkie has the garden, KayKay has the barnyard, and I have the bird area. Bunkie, you take your part?
So in the garden, I grow a bunch of stuff. So we grow tomatoes, peppers, melons. We grow a lot. Cucumbers, and we grow squash, but it's not in the main garden anymore. But that's my garden. We have new potato beds too. So, and I am joining. My next video is the video of the Messy Garden Challenge 2022, which you, Miss Lisa, are in.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you're joining us. I don't know that you would be a messy gardener though at all.
That's why I don't have the garden.
The squash area, I think, is the messiest part of my garden.
Because I mean, if you see my strawberry patch, I'm a very messy gardener. That's fun.
Thank you, Miss Lori. You are an amazing gardener too.
Hi, KayKay, your barnyard. I raise goats.
Yes, you do.
Cows.
There's cows there too, but the goats are her favorite
And
part.
cats.
Yeah, I'm
And
kind of
cats.
partial to the goats. But they're helping Kind of. to clear land in our other pastures, and we get milk from them. And they're the most adorable things with the most personality. So. By kind of partial, KayKay means that she spoils them rotten, and they all love her more than life.
And she does too.
Oh, of course. They only listen to me though. Yes, they don't like anyone else on the entire farm. They
Just
love
her.
KayKay.
Well, she's kind of bonded with him, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I have the bird area. I have the
Dinosaurs.
Yes, I have our 2 6-foot dinosaur emus, and then I have the turkeys, the chickens, and the ducks.
And not ducks.
And outside of the bird area, we have more chickens and more turkeys and more ducks, and then another group of chickens.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so the emus did really good over the winter.
They did. They did. I was
Oh,
actually
yeah.
really, really happy about how well they did.
That's awesome because I remember watching a video you were talking about, what you built for them and stuff like that. And I tried to talk Mr. Yogi Hollow Farm into one. He's not going for it though.
They're so cute and they're so friendly. The males are very, very sweet. They will be taller than you.
There are like
really
zero
easy.
downsides.
I
Other than
know.
they take your shoes sometimes and they'll steal your baseball caps, but that's literally the worst thing they can do. They're very curious. The amount of times that he has stolen my baseball cap it gets a little bit annoying.
He just
I
like
bet.
runs around with it and then drops it. Then he just leaves it.
Yeah.
I know. I've wanted one, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'll live vicariously through you guys right now.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be able to convince him.
That's right. That's right. So I just want to go to the chat real quick. Life with Blinda and Chuck says hello, y'all, including all of us on screen. And ladies, by the way, that's Holly.
Yeah. So,
Hi, Miss Ellie.
Hi.
Sorry.
No, I got some stuff on the stove, so I just wanted to pop in and say hi.
Hi. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah.
we've got people coming over tomorrow night in our town. We've got the big celebration here. It's sauerkraut days.
Oh, wow.
Sauerkraut.
We're having a bunch of people over. Then there's a band and a big dance tomorrow night. So we're gonna have some fun.
That sounds really fun.
It does.
We're gonna have some fun.
Hi, Tina Ladybug.
Hello, Miss Tina.
Oh, wow. Sandy says she now has 3 bee swarms.
Wow.
That's cool.
Sandy.
Are those like the good bee swarms where you keep bees and have honey, or the bad bee swarms where they come and attack you at random points in time?
I don't want to speak for her, but I'm going to assume she caught the swarms, which is a good thing.
Wow.
You're really good at doing our lives. I mean, I can hardly keep up with our chats when we're live.
It's hard. It's hard.
You're good at it.
Well, thank you. I have to keep going back and forth. I know Berkshire Farm said they're having rolling blackouts in mid-Texas because of the heat. Stay safe. Hey, Hedgehogs, Homestead, Laura, welcome in. Chuck said he was telling everyone we would be on at 6:30. My bad. No worries. Hey, Ariella, welcome in, welcome in. And Sandy said, yes, honeybees.
Okay, that's
Nice.
okay. That's okay.
Berkshire Farm loves fermented sauerkraut.
Oh yeah.
Hedgehogs Homestead says, hey, girls.
Hi.
Our treasured home and our new land are here. Welcome in. They say, hey. And Daz from my Aussie Garden and Kitchen is here. Hello. And Uncle Al is here.
Hi, Uncle Al.
That's awesome. I hope you're feeling better, Uncle Al. So, thanks, Uncle Al. I hope you're feeling better. So, Rich, why don't you talk a little bit about your channel? I know everybody knows who you are, but I'm going to make you do it anyway.
Well, if there is someone new on here, I just put Rich down when I logged in. I should have put I'm Holly and myself were the proud owners of the Old Swedes Farm. So hope you'll check us out if you haven't already. A lot of gardening. You've got the messy garden competition, and I think we might have it already won with certain areas where I need to mow the weeds. So it's been pretty tough. And then KayKay, you were talking about how you communicate with some of the animals. That lady that was behind me, we've got a new batch of 40 chicks that are now 2 months old. I go out there and they kind of look at me and they move around. A couple come up. She goes out there and there's about all 40 of them around her ankles. So
They do that a lot with Trie and Bunkie.
she's the chicken whisperer this year with this group. So I got to get in good with them, bring some more treats out or something. But a lot of chicken videos, a lot of garden videos.
And yes, you do. Life with Blinda and Chuck. You need to get on Messy Garden. And Trey Designs, subscribe to Mr. Rich. Thank you, Trey.
Yeah.
Oh, no worries, Sandy. No worries. Do what you have to do. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, little Frenchie in Big Texas. Ann, welcome in.
Hi,
Hello.
Jesse said Holly smells better than Rich.
Absolutely.
So we will have a few other guests come join us. Girls, do you want to talk about your individual channels before we get started on the talking about food and everything? Give it a chance to promote it.
You want to talk about Monkey's
You
Garden?
first. You first.
Talk.
You first. You first. Whatever you first.
Talk. You're oldest. Be a good model to your little sister. You're all terrible. I have a channel, Joyful Noise and Notes, and definitely not inspired by our it's too low to see it.
Just move it up.
See it? Oh, okay.
Joyful noise unto the Lord.
It's one of my favorite verses, and I do cover songs on there and instrument reviews. I reviewed that.
This big precious guitar.
And I do other covers that I enjoy doing.
Her solo music is on her channel, and she's actually really good at it.
She is really good at it.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yeah,
daughter.
Grandma said she loves that verse too.
It is
Very
a
good. Very nice. Oops.
And
It's a very nice oops.
Very nice chat. Or not chat. It's a very nice verse. Sorry.
You're fine. We do a laid back live, so no big deal. Don't apologize. You're doing just fine.
You.
Okay. My channel is Trey Designs, and I try to do technology or not reviews.
Hacks.
No, not
Skills?
exactly hacks. Like tricks and
How-tos.
instructional.
How-tos.
Yeah, how-tos. Like how to edit a video, how to use green screen, and different things that I learned while I was trying to figure out
You do
iMovie
logos,
and
too.
stuff. And then my more fun part of my channel that I enjoy more is when I design logos. And I've designed, I think, 3 or 4 logos now.
You've done Miss Ariella, you've done Chicken Johnny, you've done Miss Gail. You're working on someone. Okay, you're
I'm supposed to be working on one. I think it's just 3. Almost 4 when I start that one.
Wow. See, now I didn't know. Well, I know you did Ms. Gail's logo, and I know you did Ariella's, but when we got our logo done, Daz did mine.
Oh, nice.
oh, nice.
Yeah, I sent him a picture of our Yogi, and that's what I wanted was a picture of Yogi on our logo. And it's kind of hard because you had to take a picture the best picture you had to turn it into a graphic, so it's not 100% perfect, but Daz did an amazing job on it. So
It's a very pretty logo.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Liz did that.
Thank
That
you.
just-
Days ahead.
that just made my day to know that we have Yogi in our logo.
It is super cool.
Yeah.
We did great with that.
So I have one more guest behind, and good thing he messaged me because my cursor was in the wrong place, and you girls just said I do great at lives. Apparently, Daz has been here for a while.
Okay, you're still good at it though. because I
I'm
didn't-
trying. Daz, are you ready?
He's already a day ahead of us. That's how long he's been waiting.
True.
Daz, hello.
Oh, hi, Ron. Surprise!
Nice to that.
So I heard that old ugly men were invited up, so I jumped straight on. So yeah. So I actually have a serious question before we get into this.
Sure.
Which one of these ladies up here? Which one of you did the pee joke on my latest video?
Hi.
So very funny. Just to explain to everybody, my latest video is dehydrating peas and food storage and stuff. And someone up here put peas on earth, not peace, peas on earth in the comments.
I'm not as mature as I look. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not.
So, yeah. So that gets a big Daz approves.
Nice.
Daz, all she was saying is give peas a chance. Come on.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry.
So where you've started, ladies, up there.
Sarah at Dark Lord Minette says, at least she admits it.
Plus, we will throw her under the bus whenever she doesn't. So.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There's no point in denying it anymore with these two.
So I think we covered 2 of your channels, but I don't think we got to Bunkies.
Nope, Bunkie's next.
So in my channel, I do gardening, and gardening, and more gardening.
And just a little bit of gardening on the side.
Yeah.
And hydroponic gardening.
Yes, I do hydroponics, just like Miss Lisa that is doing.
I have a question for you.
Ooh.
Do you remember the tomatoes I was growing indoors?
Mhm.
Okay, I've had flowers on them for over a month, and they're indeterminate. I think it's time to take them down or put them outside because I'm not getting fruit. What do you think?
Have you been using a brush to pollinate them?
Like my toothbrush.
No, I read that they were self-pollinating, so I shook them like they tell you to set the fruit, and I still don't have them, but I wonder if the hydroponic, the fertilizer is made for tomatoes, but I wonder if it's just not getting enough.
It may be the nutrients. I know that if it has the right nutrients, it'll try to grow instead of reproduce. So it might be that. It might also just be that they're not self-pollinating. I don't know.
Yeah.
What does it mean by self-pollinating? Doesn't that mean it needs bees or something?
No, you use
Self-pollinating means you don't
use a
need bees.
brush. You brush and you brush the flower.
I thought it meant you didn't need 2 separate plants.
I think
Oh,
you should
maybe
try
that's it.
pollinating it, maybe.
So tell me how to do that, because I've never done that.
So you
Steal
take,
your middle sister's toothbrush and you rub it on the flowers.
so you take brush a paintbrush, and then you put it basically in the middle of the flower, but you gotta do it lightly and just basically tickle it. You just do that, and then.
Okay.
And then you just do that, and you can keep doing that until you go outside with bees out there. So, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, because I was getting to the point where I've decided I will do dwarf tomatoes next time. I should not have done indeterminate, but I had so many seeds that I just did indeterminate because it's what I had.
Mm-hmm.
I also think they're too tall. The tomato plants became too tall, and they're not getting enough light because they can't get under the lights, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I had a problem like that with my one tomato, and it kind of went down because it was so heavy because it's so tall. And so the stem broke, basically, like that. But it was still attached by a couple strings. So when we had to move it outside, part of it broke, so now I have one stem coming up with a sliced, and then I have another stem that grew roots in the other 5-gallon bucket part. So, but I have 3 tomatoes from that plant. So
Well,
I
you
broke-
read my mind, because that's exactly what is going on with mine indoors.
I broke the tomato plant that was on me.
Oh, well, mine are just breaking on their own.
Yeah, mine broke on his own because it was so tall that it broke like this.
While I was carrying it.
Can you take that broken part, Lisa, and put that in the water? And it'll
I
work.
can. It still seems alive. It's bent over and leaning on the table, and it's still alive.
Yeah, that's what happened to mine too. It's like this, but it's still alive on my shelf. So that will work. And I even got tomatoes on that part that broke. That's my first 2 tomatoes I got on it.
That's cool. Yeah, because I've got flowers on mine, and they're not dying at all. They look great. So that's what I'm trying to think. But
Yeah, I got another tomato today.
that's awesome. Well, I'm going to go to the chat real quick just to see who came in. Hey, Gwen Bro Cowgirl, welcome in, welcome in. Our new land, hello. Mountain Grandma's here. Let's see here.
Grubby the Beagle jumped in.
Woof. Grubby the Beagle, hello. And hello, Miss Southern Belle, welcome in, welcome in. So, I don't have any other guests hiding back there, do I? Making sure that I'm not forgetting somebody.
Just ask Daz, he'll know.
He's
Bunky's
up here
just
now.
gone. Bunky's just going to get an emu. Won't be long.
Yeah. I want one. Ryan will go for it.
Do
You can catch
it.
all the pheasants. You get an emu.
Zero downsides. Like, that's not a downside for anyone but you.
So how are you, Daz?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, it's a nice day outside, and I'm inside, so yay. No. I didn't think I was going to make it because I made sure I got a whole bunch of outside stuff done this morning. So yeah, it's good to sit down now and just chill out with a bunch of good people. And
The emu.
yeah, and yeah, I also wanted to tell the ladies, Bunky's not here at the moment, but the concert last.
Didn't bring the emu.
Oh, there you go. Welcome back.
Forgot the emu.
How good was the concert? Wow. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. If anyone doesn't know, the ladies did a concert, about 4 days ago?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. So if you haven't seen it yet, please go to their channel and check it out because it was good. And they had guests picking songs, and wow, there's some really good songs and really good renditions of the songs. It was just awesome.
Thank you.
Well, Mr.
yeah, well
Dad,
done.
you are a great cooker.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you.
Chef. Cooker.
Actually,
Yeah.
did you ladies get the message? I heard there was a big message. No? You mustn't have seen it. You garden and you sing and you build things there and you do so much. And I saw a message from Elon Musk asking if you could fly the next spaceship up to the all the testing is doing up in space at the moment. So yeah, apparently you didn't get that message.
I have a thing with heights. I'll do it.
You better get it sorted then, because yeah, I reckon you guys are going to be astronauts soon. There's nothing you can't do. It's unreal.
Aw, thank you.
They're very, very talented young ladies. Thanks, Gwen. I just lost my train of thought, but I wanted to tell you guys. So we got the farrowing rails in the barns for the pigs.
All right.
Nice.
I don't know, you girls know what that is, the rails so that the mama pig doesn't hurt the babies.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yep. So we've got those in. So everybody's really, and Fiona's in her new pen doing well. It was a little rough the first night. She was kind of headbutting the fence, but because she's been with her sister since before they came to our house. So, so that's all ready. So basically all I need to do is clean out the barn the week before they farrow, and we will put up a panel to keep Eleanor from her pasture, and then we'll block something by the gate to keep the piglets in because it's too wide, the gaps. But that's all we have to do, and we're ready. So that's really exciting.
When's the big day?
Super exciting. I can't wait to see your baby pigs.
I can't either. Eleanor is due July 25th, and Fiona is August 7th. And they do. I've sent pictures to friends who, had pigs farrow before, and, they're showing signs that they are indeed pregnant. From what we can see in the pictures, we've been monitoring body condition to make sure they're not too fat, because if they are, they can't nurse right. So they look pretty good, pretty exciting. So And
What's
then
a
we got,
typical litter for that breed?
I think it's anywhere from 6 to 10. They can even do
Wow.
12, but you know, unfortunately, with all births, a lot of the times with pigs, sometimes not all of them survive.
Yeah.
It's a part of nature. So we're just hoping they are good and healthy, but we know the last 24 hours, like 24 hours before she's ready to go, you will be able to get milk from her. And the Kuni pigs are 116 days gestation. So, you know, we'll just be watching her closely, and I got to get the
That's a lot
camera set up in
That's
there.
a lot faster than goats.
What's that?
That's a lot faster than goats. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple days longer than most pigs for the Kunis. But Kunis are supposed to be really easy at farrowing. I mean, every animal has a troublesome, you know, birth sometimes.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be fairly easy. So we've got our fingers crossed for that.
Wow.
So
Takes a
Pretty
bit longer.
exciting.
what's that?
Sorry.
What you got?
I was just saying it's so exciting. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
it
Yeah, and a little anxiety provoking first time. So
Yes.
You going to be able to? Are you going to have a camera person with you the whole time? Because I mean, I've seen you watch people do videos and they're gardening with one hand, and it's sometimes a disaster. Or they're cooking with one hand, and I can't imagine, you know, delivering piglets and filming and.
Mm-mm. I am hoping to set up. I had a camera when we first got our chickens, and it was on them in the brooder because they were in the garage. And we still have it around here. We actually have two because when we first got Diesel, we didn't know how he would do in the house. So it was cheap enough to just have it, so we used it. And so I will put that down in the barn, and hopefully the signal will catch it. If not, I know people who use baby monitors
Yep.
to be able to do it. And so I will definitely check that out as well. But I'm not a film everything kind of person. You would think I am, but I'm not. Like,
is really hard to like remember to get a camera out there, especially when something's actually happening.
yeah. And really, honestly, my first priority is making sure they're okay more than filming it. I can show you the piglets after. I will try to have a tripod set up just so I can catch something. But if it doesn't happen, I'm more worried about them being okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to go to the chat real quick because a bunch of people came in. And I just want to say hello to everybody. Hey, G Mama Grows, welcome in. Hey, Blue Self-Reliance.
Hello. Hello, Miss. Wait, where'd it go? Is that her?
Crubby the Beagle is here. Hello. Hello, gathered together. Thanks for being here. Yeah, totally true, Gwen. The moms won't even know that they're there, and then the piglets are running around. Thanks, Ariella. Nancy, it keeps jumping. Have a great weekend, Nancy, our treasured home. Thanks for stopping by. Yep, exactly, Sarah. Priority of mother and babies are first. And let's see here. I agree, Mountain Grandma. Too much to film everything. A friend of mine, a fellow homesteader, he's about 90 minutes for me. He's got some fandangled baby monitor that, like, you can see the piglets breathing.
Whoa.
He showed me a video from it where you could see the piglets moving in the mama's belly.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
That's
and it was just a baby monitor.
Whoa.
Wow.
Crazy.
How does
I guess it depends how far it is.
X-ray vision or something. Wow.
I'm trying to hydrate myself because we were out in the heat all day.
So it's like an X-ray vision baby monitor? How does that work for the babies? You just looking at the baby
That
skeleton?
doesn't seem good.
No, it's just that
That doesn't seem good.
Come on, keep moving.
he could zoom in, and when he zoomed in, you can see them kicking.
Yeah, not like.
Oh, I thought it was like X-ray. You can see a bunch of baby skeletons inside of a big skeleton. I'm like,
That doesn't look helpful.
count the babies.
Yeah. I don't know if we would have static here either. I'm worried because the internet is excellent internet, but when I go down by the barn, it doesn't reach it.
Yeah.
So I've had lives where it got, hung up. So I'm going to give it a shot and see what we can find. But if not, like I said, I'll try to set something up. And then we put the turkeys, the meat turkeys that we're raising that we hatched. They're 8 weeks old. I got a short coming out tomorrow. I moved the panel. I separated the meat chickens and I moved that panel out of there because the turkeys are large enough and they can get away from them now if they want to.
Mhm.
So I put a roost up in there for them. That's not in the short because I did that today, but they're so funny. I put it on Instagram in my stories. I put the roost up and they're on the roof of the building and you have to see them they're looking at it and they don't know what to do. And then they're all over it, so it's just funny. It's so funny.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. So let's talk about homegrown food, right? I got the panel discussion up here. So what are some things that, you think are important for... Actually, let's start with this, girls, because I looked at your about page and I put it in my description. How much food did you grow last year?
Oh my gosh.
We were very, very close to 2,000 pounds.
A ton,
I think we were
almost a ton.
how much short were we? Like 100? We were really close. I forgot how far away. But
Yeah, I'm like 100.
we were
100
keeping
pounds.
track of it to see just how much it's grown. But this year, I don't think we're going to be working as hard as that because we just had papers everywhere.
Yeah,
It
I
was such a mess.
I think if we really had tried last year, we would have been able to make it to a ton because there was a lot of food that we didn't count that went to the animals.
Well, yeah, but it's supposed to be what we did.
I know. So I think if we
How big is your garden then? If you're getting a ton of food, how big is the garden?
It's very big,
It's very
we
big.
we grow I think
it's 100 by 200
Yeah,
or is it
100
100 by 50?
100 by 200. I'm pretty sure 100 by 200, and I have 4 tomato rows.
Blinks.
Wow.
But
Bunkie knows.
I mean, to keep in mind, how we grow food is not just directly plants. We also raise chickens and goats and turkeys that we took to the butcher too. And so they count for things too, but they end up in our freezer, they end up in our shelves.
And those count
If we
for
can use them for us, we count for
food as well.
Yeah,
Still
but some of them ends up in our animal's stomach.
raising a ton of food though. That's incredible, gals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unreal.
Well, and I always, we in the past on these live, we've talked about small spaces, right? And how anybody can grow. And I don't know if Mr. Blue Collar is still in here, but Blue Collar Homestead has a YouTube channel and they are in a very small space. And I don't even remember how much they grew last year, but if you could have seen the tomato plants and the food that they have, I mean, let me tell you, if anyone says I can't, Blue Collar will show you can. Let me tell you that.
Wow.
Because they have goats, they had baby goats, they had ducks, they had chickens, they had meat chickens. I don't want to misquote it, but what is it? Is it an eighth of an acre, a quarter of an acre, something like that, Daz?
Wow.
I was going to say half acre. I don't think it'd be any more than a half acre. I originally thought they were on a farm or some sort of larger homestead, and they corrected me, and I couldn't believe it because, as Lisa said, the tomatoes, they grew so many tomatoes. It was insane.
Wow.
Nice.
All in there. Yeah, it was pretty much in a backyard, really. I'm trying not to downscale or diminish what they did, but essentially that's what they did. It was it wasn't a very large property at all.
That's awesome.
it just goes to show you can do it. And that's the thing, because, they had so then they were freeze drying things from their garden. They were canning things from their garden. They planted a gajillion tomato plants and were making ketchup and tomato sauce and tomato soup and all that. And on a tiny acre, but it was all to feed their family of 3, which was really amazing. So it was very cool.
Yeah.
Even, not having animals, but Slava, and she does, I think when you're small like that, to plant vertical, to use the vertical space as well as the horizontal. And she's really been good in companion planting and succession planting. And she's really become kind of the goddess of all that in that smaller lot that she's got near Chicago. And I'm just amazed the production she's gotten already. If someone says you can't do it because it's too small or they don't know where to start, just start. And do something. Try something, and then keep good notes.
That's a good point.
Well, I'm always seeing. We have similar stores over here, like dollar stores, where you can go and buy cheapy type products and everything. And for months and months now, I've been seeing that over there you guys have the stackable planters from the dollar store, Dollar Tree, I think it is the store you guys have over there.
Yeah.
And I would love to get my hands on them. And over here they're just very expensive. But I think they're a fantastic idea for somebody in a courtyard or a small space. And just
they look really cool.
Rich was saying, you can go up as well. So I think they're a great idea. I mean, you could have so many strawberries or lettuce and herbs and green onions and so many things growing in a planter like that. It's just, a one-stop shop for such goodness.
Yeah, I think they're
that's awesome. And they're easy to take apart and put apart.
Yes, absolutely.
The one thing with blue collar, with having the animals and all that adds a whole nother dimension. And I don't know, Vineyard Chicks, just something that came to me. You're giving some food over to your animals. Are you then doing the big compost effort to give from your animals right back into the garden?
We have tried that. I have, I think, 3 or 4 times tried to make compost pile, and I think I've had 1 successful.
Yeah.
And I think Bunkie might use the compost pile.
I do have a compost pile in the barnyard that is just kind of sitting there. We put the spent shavings and whatever in there.
Yeah.
We've done some looking into goats because it's like you can just use it directly in the garden, but we're kind of scared of doing that.
Mix it in a pile. You had one pile that worked, so what you said is you had success.
Yeah, I think so. Earlier this week, I went to KayKay's compost pile, and it's dirt. It's dirt now. It's not.
It worked.
Things.
Yeah, there you go.
It worked.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about using that in my garden.
Making compost is fun. Yeah, I enjoy it so much here, and you can save money too. You don't have to go to the store and buy soil and all sorts of stuff and everything. You can use that stuff you make, whether it's from a combination of grass clippings and kitchen scraps to, mess from the animals and all of that combined. It's magic.
Yeah, and there are so many different ways you can use the compost. Like a couple years ago in winter, you can I put my compost pile in with my chickens, and not only do they scratch around in that looking for bugs, and that mixes it so that you don't really have to, but it also releases heat to help keep them warm, and it's super helpful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have rabbits on your farm?
Well, we have rabbits, but they're not our rabbits, and
they're not good rabbits.
They're not the good rabbits. They're the rabbits that come and eat your lettuce and your grapevines.
No, that's not good.
That's why I grow carrots in buckets, in barrels and raised beds, because I don't want them to be eaten.
Bunkie
Smart. Joy Bless Life said she saw a machine that makes let me look it up here. Machines that make dirt from small compost. Joy, is that the ones that you've seen on YouTube that they're advertising? It's like Lomi or something. It's a lot of the ads that play for our channels. It grinds something up called Lomi or something. I was
Kitchen
wondering
scraps
about
and
that.
stuff, doesn't it?
What's that?
Isn't it something that sits on your counter? I've seen that, and I just wonder. It's all nitrogen. It's all nitrogen stuff from the kitchen. I'm just wondering what else goes in there to add the carbon piece so it turns into something.
Yeah,
That's a really good point.
I wonder if it's just that it breaks it down into fine matter. So when you throw it into your compost bin, it's not all.
Maybe the smaller pieces would break down quicker if you add it to the carbon. That might be the. I just worry about something like that just smelling, you know. But and I'm sure they've got that solved, and you know.
Yeah.
You would think so.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Bunky's bucket garden.
There you go.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Bunky's bucket gardening. I bet. Can you say that 5 times fast?
So they're expensive. Nope, I'll throw it outside. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
Bunky's bucket garden. Bunky's bucket. No, okay.
Yeah, you can't. That's right. You can't use like cat or dog waste because of the worms and
Yeah.
parasites.
Yeah. The reason I was asking about rabbits, just their compost is absolute gold, and you don't need to compost it. That can go directly on the garden. Daz, you've got rabbits, don't you?
Yeah, so I've got well, I say but my older kids have got a couple of rabbits, and only in the last 6 months I've started using the rabbit marbles, you could say. And yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, you just throw them on the garden. Just that's all there is to it. You don't need to treat it or age it like chicken manure and stuff like that. And yeah, it's great.
Chicken stuff is pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Berkshire Farm asked a question. They said they saw a video about crowding gardening. They say it keeps the weeds and the grass out. They looked into it but couldn't find any info. Has anyone heard of this?
Crowd gardening?
Yeah. Homestead with Jen and Steve.
Yes, I have heard of that's what I do for my barrels. I've been growing in them since I've been 4 years old. I use the crowd seeding method is what I call it. And that will it will make it so that weeds can't really, there's no room for weeds basically. And I have 2 perennials already because they came back and I didn't think they would come back. But
yeah,
when I see them because they're really big now and there's barely any room.
And you don't have to separate them as they get bigger?
Yeah. Well, I do if I plant them in indoors first.
Do you have any issues with I like to keep things close, but I like some spacing. You need that airflow in there, and I wonder if you had any issues with mold or just your plants getting a little disease because they stay wet too long, or
I have some funguses, and when I grow indoors mostly, I get lots of mold on basil. I put peroxide on it. Peroxide helps with the mold. But I do get some funguses on the leaves, but I get it mostly on cucumbers too, on zucchinis too.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for those plants. Seems kind of crowded.
Yeah. I just wondered about leaf some wilt and some of that might go on if they're too close.
I think starting out with crowd seeding is a good idea. I think sometimes she separates them as they get older, but some of the herbs she just sprinkled them and let them.
Yeah,
they're doing great.
Yeah,
onions.
Yeah, but when I start them indoors, I have to I keep them indoors for a long time if it's my winter indoor garden. So I have to split them up and kind of put them both in like multiple containers, because the roots, they get so big that they kind of like, if the roots are too big, you gotta put them in a different container or else they will be sad. But you gotta put them in a bigger container if the roots are too big. So you gotta separate them if they're multiple, because then the roots will get so big that it will be like
Fighting.
Yeah, it will be fighting.
They'll be sad with how crowded it is.
Yes, have you done that?
Yes, I've I'm trying to work out how to say it. My next video is guess what? I've got a YouTube channel. No.
Hey Joe, Garden State Garden.
No, but on topic, my next video, I just did a quick. It was actually my next video is inspired from Lisa's last live stream, where I actually say I was on a panel and we briefly discussed close planting, and a couple of people had asked about my apple trees, where I've planted a couple of apple trees 3 feet apart. So yeah, for anybody that is interested in looking at crowded planting, look up the terms backyard orchard culture, look up the term high density planting. Obviously, square foot gardening is another one you could look at in regards to spacing. And you could look up Dave Wilson Nursery. His videos are very old now. They'd be close to 8 to 10 years old now. Wow. And this is a guy, I think he might be in California. And what he does is he went out and said, you know what? I can stick 2 fruit trees in the same hole side by side like this and successfully grow fruit and also close together like this. And it's very inspiring. So yeah, I've dabbled. I've got 3 containers with 3 hot pepper plants in each one, and they've been growing. So 9 of them, I'm looking at them now. It's basically like a hedge, and they've been growing for a good 3 years now. And I have such an abundance of chili peppers. It's nuts. It's fantastic. And the only maintenance I do is, as Rich was mentioning earlier, with the leaves having moisture and stuff like that being trapped, I cut back all the foliage probably on the bottom, I don't know, maybe the bottom quarter, maybe the bottom third of them, so the airflow gets in underneath. And I do go in between and snip around in between just so they're not entwined as much in the middle. But yeah, I've got even lettuce. I've got a 10-gallon grow bag with probably 8 lettuce all growing in that one grow bag. Wow. And last night, in fact, we had homemade hamburgers, and we went out and picked the lettuce, and it's great. It's just this big, bushy, green thing of lettuce. It's fantastic. And yeah, rather than have them all sort of spaced out in the garden, I just wanted something where I could step out the side door here and just grab things at will. Yeah. And so yeah, I'd love experimenting with the close planting, and yeah, I'd like to actually do a lot more of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, we had the hydroponic lettuce that I told you I was doing great with, and then all of a sudden I did the video and they just wouldn't grow. And I thought it was the seeds. Yeah, last night we harvested all the lettuce and it looked amazing and it was delicious. I think we had Boston Bib. But Blue Self-Reliance said it's funny because in nature, the stuff just drops in seeds and crowds and all that. I'm not reading her comment verbatim, but basically we're planting things to make it look pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there are some benefits to planting spaced. They have more room to breathe and to get big, but there's a good point there.
Yeah, well, I guess in regards to fruit trees, for instance, if you want a commercial quantity of fruit, it's better to have them spaced apart and let them just go crazy. But for me in my backyard, I don't want to be climbing ladders and trying to pick fruit and everything. So my orchard is planted a little bit closer than what you would normally do, and that's going to restrict the size of the trees a bit, which is a good thing for me.
Yeah.
And also, I'm getting enough fruit that we can eat it as fresh as much as we want, and I can still preserve a lot of it and store it away. I don't need commercial quantities of fruit and be in that situation where I'm trying to force it on the neighbors and everything. And yeah, it's great. And also, speaking earlier about pollination, if you plant close, you've got that cross pollination that works a bit easier too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello, 12 Stones. Welcome in. So what percentage would you say of, and I don't know if percentage is the right way to say it. I'm trying to think of how to say, like, how much of your garden harvest is your family's food? You know, so if, you know, percent can be really hard. So, you know, are you eating 5 of your vegetables for your dinner per week from your garden when it's blooming? Like, is that easier to break it down?
Vermont. Girls, why don't you go first?
I think for us, most of what we harvest gets used. Like if we can't use it immediately because we have a big garden and we can't use it immediately, we do a lot of preserving. And so especially during the harvesting months, when you're not outside, you will most likely be preserving because there's just so much stuff that you don't know what to do with. And it's kind of not helpful for anyone to just let it go to waste. So most of what we harvest just gets used.
Yeah, and we have a bunch of beans from last year and peppers in the freezer that we air sealed in a bag, and we just put it in the freezer, and we can use it whenever we need it. We can use it whenever we need it, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's smart because I know Ryan and I, Mr. Yogi Hollow, we have this conversation all the time, you know, between canning and freeze drying and dehydrating. And he's a big proponent of taking a fresh harvest and blanching it and freezing it. You know, for him, that's the best way he wants to eat it. You know what I mean? For him, he feels that's the freshest way. You know what I mean? Everybody has their different ideas, but I think that that's really cool. And I know Daz does a lot of dehydrating. So
I would definitely dehydrate more than I do can. And in Australia, pressure canning is not a thing. And myself, like a lot of other Australians, had to import a pressure canner from the USA to be able to pressure can. In Australia, we do a lot of water bathing, and there's a very famous, very old company over here where pretty much everyone uses their jars in their system, and it involves lids with a rubber ring and clips that you have to clip and hold the lid down, and they're called Fowler's for cola, and that's very much the Australian thing. So it was great to be able to import a pressure canner and pressure can. But yeah, the reason I dehydrate more than anything is one, long-term storage, which obviously canning can be. But because we're such a big family, we've got 9 people here, I'm looking at saving space. So rather than store, say, I've got broccoli and stuff growing at the moment, being winter here in Australia, and a lot of that's going to go to storage, but I'll dehydrate that because I just can't afford to blanch it and have it all in the freezer and take up all that freezer space.
Yeah.
So, I'm with Ryan. I would love to just blanch and freeze a lot of stuff. But one, I don't want to rely on electricity. And 2, just the space. I love the fact that you can dehydrate something, tomatoes. I can dehydrate so many tomatoes and then have these two, what looks like two little jars sitting on the pantry shelf, and it's actually a whole bunch of tomatoes that are going to last a long time.
Nice.
Yeah, our dad likes stuff fresh too. But we do can and preserve. We do a lot of that. We have a bunch of recipes downstairs that we just put in a mason jar, did all of that stuff, and now it's stored down. Now it's stored downstairs. And we have a lot. And we also dehydrated zucchini, yellow squash, and we put seasonings on them. Yeah, and then we put them in a can, and we boom, sitting there.
And we blew them up.
We sat, when, I don't know if you saw the video, but I had the big piece of paper out and we were designing our garden for this year and trying to, some of the stuff we're doing right now for infrastructure, but also we're trying to expand our garden. We probably use, I don't know, it's a little deceptive because some of the things we grow are seasonal. We grow a bunch of pumpkins, we grow a bunch of Jack B. Littles that crafters use. So it's kind of like, boom, that stuff comes and then it goes, and it goes mostly to everybody else. When you talk about tomatoes, peppers, the normal garden stuff, we probably use 2/3 of it. And the other third, we have 2 people currently that do a CSA starting in July. They're going to come over every Wednesday and we're going to load them up with stuff, whatever is good. And we really load them up good. But it becomes as you expand a garden, you're downstream. You have to, we start thinking, okay, we want to do this and this, expand our tomatoes. Well, Holly wanted to do tomato sauces and tomato juice and some of that. Well, okay, now we need the jars and the lids. Okay, can we get those? And then, okay, I need to go buy some more shelving. There's all these little ripples downstream from that. And it also gives us a chance to try new things. We're doing pepperoncinis for the first time. I love pepperoncinis, but I've never pickled them. So new thing for us this fall, if everything survives. But I bet you we're probably 2/3 for our personal use. And then the big items we can, sell to buy our seeds for next year, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So how much food do you think you grow in your garden, like based on last year?
You know what? I don't have a clue. I know, in mid-July, we did our first stuff kind of happened and the CSA started, and we had just of cherry tomatoes. The first picking was 50 pounds of cherry tomatoes. I bet you we were in that, it's just a guess, 750 pounds. It was a lot of weight of stuff. And then there were times where, and maybe we should weigh. I think that's one thing that the gals have said, keeping track of things. That's an awesome idea. And maybe we should just get the scale out and do that. But there were times where there was so much going on and my chickens were hungry. You're eating cherry tomatoes and you're throwing them over your shoulders so that the girls can eat them behind you. I don't know if that answered your question, Lisa, but
no, it's honest. It's honest. I mean, Ryan grew incredible gardens in Connecticut, and I mean, he grew so much, and his grandmother used to preserve everything and all that, and it's just incredible. But it's true, if you don't think to weigh everything, you miss out knowing how much you are growing, because I think about our small chicken and turkey harvest, right? It was really small. We really just wanted to assess the size of the royal gray broilers as well as the turkey, because the turkey was not fed to be a raised meat bird. So for me, 16.8 pounds was pretty impressive,
Awesome.
So, hey, Art and Adventure with Tasha. Hey, AK Bread Company.
But that is one thing. I'm a data nut and, try to keep notes on everything and the end product. You kind of get into harvest mode and explosion harvest mode. And I skipped that point. I kept good notes on what I thought produced well, but I didn't keep track of the production like the ladies did. That's one thing where they really excelled.
Yeah. I'm the total opposite. I do not keep track. I do not measure, weigh. I don't know. I just get it out there and I sort of look at it, and then I guess I just go with the flow. Initially I just harvest to eat fresh, and then once we sort of start looking at where everything's about to be harvested together, that's when I look at whether I'm going to can, dehydrate, whatever. But I really couldn't. I could not tell you at all. I couldn't even guess at how much I grow of anything. Yeah, it's just, and also getting just back to where Lisa asked about what percentage of the food you grow, you eat, and everything. That's a really hard one for me too, because my family are such fussy eaters, and in my garden I grow the very basic, very common, like I'm pushing my luck with broccoli and cauliflower, for instance, but tomatoes, corn, peas, beans, not bees. I'm getting bees later this year, but
Nice.
yeah, pumpkins, just the common sort of varieties of fruit and veg, because that's what my family eat. And as I've said before, I put my time and effort into what we're actually going to use rather than sort of experiment and stuff like that.
I think I'm an engineer wannabe and record too many stats. And you're the artist in the kitchen, though, Daz. You're throwing all this stuff together and making gold.
It makes it
Right.
look good.
Yeah, it looks
Uh,
good. It makes me look hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you talk about artists, though. I look at your garden, Rich. If anyone has not seen, you need to go look at Rich's most recent videos out in his garden. And
Yeah.
your garden it's like artwork. It's incredible. It's just everything's in rows and it's organized and
It's weed
Meticulous.
control. I'm trying to do weed control. Really, that's what the whole thing is it's a battle with that seed bed that the gal left us. And so the garden fabric and all that. That's where I was really interested when you were, and I'm going to watch, hopefully you've got some recommendations on width and stuff, because my plants are 18 inches apart and then 3 feet row. The rows are 3 feet. And I'm just wondering, when they get mature, is that enough for airflow and all that? So I'm going to be digging on your next video.
See, it's hard. I was going to say it's hard because I think of Melody at Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It, right? And you always think of airflow, yet Melody lives in hot and humid Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And she intensive gardens, and she was climbing through her jungle of plants last year. And I didn't see one teeny little bit of a plant looking bad.
Oh.
Did you guys?
That's a good point. That's a very good point. You're absolutely spot on.
Remember, she was climbing through it.
Is she good with rotating? You know, and maybe some of that is, can be a self-inflicted wound if you're not rotating some crops, keeping tomatoes in the same spot, that kind of thing.
Because the same nutrients.
Yeah, well, that's something we touched on briefly last week with Lisa's live stream, was that I'm seeing a lot of really well experienced, respected people like Charles Dowding over in England, who's an absolute master at no-till gardening and everything. And Charles doesn't rotate his crops. He puts potatoes and tomatoes and everything back in the same spot year after year. And his principle of gardening is essentially just adding a couple of inches of compost every year. That's it. He doesn't dig it through, nothing. So, yeah, it's fascinating that I was really growing up and reading and hearing other people that you rotate your tomatoes and potatoes and everything. But yeah, in the last year or so, as I've been sort of researching more, I'm seeing a lot of these people with experience just going, no, just chuck them back in again.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we put our potatoes in the exact same spot as last year because it's really the only place we can. The only thing new was that we put them in the back part, which is the messy garden. And so we did that. I'm curious to see what we get this year. I mean, I know it's a tough growing zone, but
Yeah.
we know the soil is a heck of a lot better this year than it has been in the past 2 years. Yet it's ironic because the plants so far don't look great. They don't look awful, but they don't look great. But then again, the other day I had posted on Instagram because I was frustrated because it's in the 60s during the day and in the 40s at night. Well, that's not plant weather. It's delightful for me,
Yeah.
but it's not plant weather.
And they're probably not established yet. They're still putting a lot of energy down below the surface that you're not seeing, Lisa. And you'll see the benefits of that in July, I bet.
Yeah, I've already got one squash that is broken. I don't know what happened to it. It's not a borer because I don't even think we have them here.
Okay.
Or we've never had a problem with that. Zucchini is one thing that always grew well, but it seems to be hanging in there, so I'm leaving it.
Yeah.
I just let it go. What's that, girls?
So like the stem broke?
It looks like the stem broke
Okay.
versus something eating it.
So if the stem does break, but it doesn't come completely attached, then the what are they called? The things inside that transport the phylum, the phylums, and the other stuff. I think it's xylem. That transport the water and the nutrients. It can still get through there. It might have a little trouble, but as long as it's still connected, there's a good chance that it's still getting nutrients from the roots to the rest of the plant.
Good to know. Thank you. Yeah, I keep watering it in hopes that it'll,
And
shoot
plus,
up in another way.
I forget the term, Bunkie knows, but if it's a plant that has like the little hairs on it, it's still going to be able to regrow.
Trichomes.
Yeah.
Trichomes. Like tomatoes, those little furry thingies, like the fur on the tomato,
Yeah.
that will turn into a root. And then that's why you want to put mounds of dirt on this stem close to the bottom part of the tomato stem.
Yep.
That will be roots. They're called trichomes.
So, sorry, Lisa.
I was going to ask. So, do you think that I should, if it's close to the dirt, I should push the dirt up against it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would try it.
Try it.
It's
Thank
a
you.
zucchini.
Yeah, or a yellow squash, one or the other.
A lot of squash. I mean, I do that with pumpkins all the time. I will bury the side shoots at the main shoot. Can flourish, but those side shoots will throw roots down when you bury those.
Yeah.
If the stem broke, maybe like something hit it that was hard, and the stem just broke. Because pressure will make the stem break.
It's possible the hose hit it and I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
I'm just being real. I mean,
Stuff happens.
I just wondered, these ladies above me know so much. Bunkie's knowledge is incredible, and I know it's impolite to mention a lady's age, but for a lady that's 46 years old, Bunkie, your knowledge is incredible. You just...
How old are you?
46.
Yes, you are 46.
I mean,
Thank
obviously,
you for that. I will never let her
got-
off that. Thank you.
you've got decades of knowledge over there. It's just, you just outdo me.
No.
It's embarrassing. It is unreal just listening to you and watching you in your videos, and you're so confident in everything you talk about and do, guys. And I'm talking about all three of you now. It's just unreal. Like, I'm just sitting here listening to Bunkie throwing out advice here and there and everywhere, and it's so good. I mean, it's incredible.
She's very
And
passionate about what she does. In the past few years, she's really taken up a liking for gardening, and she's gotten really good at plant science.
yeah, so sorry to give away your age like that, but it's just, I think it's incredible.
Yes, she's 48. I will never let her off of that. No, Bunkie is a
Delete the 40.
Bunkie is a KayKay is 16 and I'm 14.
oh, say that again because I missed the beginning part.
Bunkie is 8.
So delete the 40.
KayKay is 16 and I'm 14.
Wow, cool. And Carla at Living a Rogue Life thinks that Bunkie has a birthday coming up.
No, it's in
Not-
months.
Not for another few months.
Okay.
All of ours are in a while.
It's like it's gonna be snowing.
Like November?
is that's not them.
That's her.
That's only me. I'm in November.
Me too.
Yay!
Me too. Yes, Bunkie knows a lot, and these young ladies all know a lot. And the fact that they're throwing out these terms that I've never heard of, I'm sitting here kind of mortified, like, wow. But Berkshire Farms said, would it be out of line to ask these young ladies to play us a song?
Well, Bunkie did convince KayKay
Look,
to
look.
play the car. It took her forever, but she
I have a musical weapon.
They're like, we thought you'd never ask.
Would you like time to think about it?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I kind of, it made it small, but go ahead.
No, then I've got to get my drums.
No, wait for it. Here, no, move the other way.
There you go.
Face it and put the.
Give me my pick.
Yeah, I have
Give me my
it.
pick.
I have it.
You guys were just waiting for that question.
Maybe just a little bit.
Well, speak up, ladies. You're welcome to sing anytime here. You know that. You're my friends.
Oh, thanks.
Ready?
This is uncomfortable.
I should probably move this here. Okay. That's good. Wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of woe. There is no sickness, toil, no danger. That bright land to which I go, going there to see my father. Going there, no more to roam. We're going on the Jordan. I'm only going home. I know dark clouds gather over me. I know my ways rough and steep. Beautiful fields are all around me. God's redeemed and just free. I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there, no more to roam. We're going over Jordan. I wanna wear the crown of glory when I get home to that good land. I wanna shout salvation story, concert with the blood-washed band. I'm going there home to see my Savior. I'm going there, no more to roam. We're going over Jordan. I'm only going over. We're going over Jordan. I'm only going over home.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you so much. How beautiful.
Welcome.
Thank you.
No
What
one,
an
probably
honor.
under the age of the lighter thing.
Oh, that's
I dated myself there.
Ah,
Sit down.
And can I just point out to any Aussies watching, Ariela's here. For all you Aussies out there, I've already spoken to the girls about when they come to Australia. Manager, tour manager, special backstage access here. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, the chat is going wild, applauding, nice talent. Very good. Thank you. Wow. Good vibes, all that stuff.
I did not do this right.
The Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla are here. Hello.
Hello.
And girls, I know that we're different time zones, so you're welcome to stay for the whole time. I'm not rushing you off, but I know if you start to get tired, I had said you didn't need to stay the whole 2 hours, so
Yep.
you let us know when it works for you, okay?
I can call it that. Okay.
Monkey's like hanging on KayKay.
She goes back and forth from being really tired and really awake. I think she's fine. She's got these things.
Well, actually, Lisa, I was more worried about Rich, but anyway.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Little Ridge Farm says, my daughter loves watching them.
Aw, thank you.
So sweet. I'm looking forward to watching you girls grow in your garden this year, and your concert series was phenomenal and is phenomenal because you're going to be doing more about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that's exciting. So actually, girls, why don't you answer this? Like, what do you like about growing your own food, and why do you do it?
Oh, well, so that you can eat food.
Well, that's
Thank you.
but
Food.
I think we are growing food because of it's just better when it's fresh. Like, you don't know what's in the groceries.
And something I can really respect about about people who grow their own food and are self-sufficient, which is something we're trying to work on, is that they don't need to rely on the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it does shut down, which it might, it very well may, you can have yourself prepared. And I think we are coming a little nearer every year to being self-sufficient. And
And it's just nicer knowing what's in your food, I think.
Yeah, and
Because
we're not only
There's a lot of things that mess with a lot of people, and no one really knows why.
Yeah.
they don't tell you what they spray on their plants when you get it from a farm.
That's why you should wash apples.
Very true. Very true. I even wash them if, they start to get the brown spots and I'm going to give them to my pigs. I wash them because I don't want them getting it.
Yeah,
You know?
good idea.
Yeah.
And so one of the things too, and you talk about self-sufficiency. One of the things is sometimes folks they think about self-sufficiency as being able to, collect your seed, grow your garden, harvest your food, right? But I think also that goes for animals, right? So for us, our first year here of being self-sufficient in one way was we had our breeding turkeys and we were able to hatch some that will be meat now for our farm. Good night, Sarah, Dark Lord Minette. And, it's the same thing with the pigs. Now, obviously, we have 2 litters and it's our first time, and we're going to try and sell the piglets as a part of the farm business.
I want
Deal. Your parents are probably in the chat like, no.
Adorable.
The coonies.
They're sweet.
Like, your pigs just let you lay down, just lay down and let you pet them. I'm not coherent.
I have had one pig that did that.
Most of the pigs we've ever tried are very skittish. Except one.
They take a while to get used to it. I don't know if you girls were watching us or remember when we had Maggie and Winston. They were our meat pigs. They were very skittish when we got them. And by the time, I don't know, a few months in, I mean, they totally were amazing. But I think if they got out of the paddock versus the coonies, I don't think it would have been a good capture with them compared to the coonies, who you get a bucket of feed and they follow you around.
Yeah.
But
Actually,
Good.
Go ahead.
I'm actually glad that you brought up the meat bit because while it is really important to eat your vegetables and to have things from your garden, meat has a lot of extra protein that your garden can't give you, and it's really important to have your own meat.
Yeah, and in these times, it's nice because you're not only growing and raising the vegetables you're growing in the garden, you're also doing animals at the same time. And then you can, like, eat those too. Eat them too. So you can eat everything.
Oh man, those ladies are awesome. The
They
answers
really are.
You guys are too.
The answers that come from you guys are just sensational. Like really, just you. Oh man, you teach so many people. Like I hope you understand the positive impact that you're making out there. It's just good on you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I just want to give a round of applause to the moderators because they've been doing a great job taking care of the chat. And I just realized the time. Why don't you guys take a break, and if there's any issues, then we can jump in or something, but just take a break. And if somebody wants a link, just type in link. Hey, Pathways Homestead. Daz, what time is it by you?
I just answered that in chat. I didn't want to interrupt.
That's okay.
1 p.m. Saturday.
1 p.m. Saturday. There you go.
Whoa. I forgot that you were
It's already Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday. I'm so tired.
Yeah, just send me a message if you want the lottery numbers.
Hey, we'll need to touch base on Lazy Days Ahead's contribution for $1,000 earlier in the chat.
I missed. Hang on.
Oh,
What am I?
What?
Remember, Daz, you said everybody.
Oh,
pay
yes.
up.
Yes, yes.
That's already in a Cayman bank account. That can't be brought back, Lisa. Sorry.
Chase. Hello, the Fanatic Card Guru. So yeah, I think it's an important point about meat too. And like I was saying about the pigs, being able to have piglets. Obviously, one of the pigs, one of the pigs we plan to keep to raise for meat, because when we raised Maggie and Winston, we yielded so much pork but that was the game plan, because we knew that the kunis would take a very long time to grow out. So that pork will last us. So that's our thing, is to just, be able to give birth, sell some pigs, put some in the freezer, that kind of thing. But I get the cute pigs because that's with the breeding. That's how I get the cute pigs, to keep them.
I love pigs, especially those kunis and the teacup pigs.
Yeah. Well, you would have laughed a lot the day that Grant got out, and Sherman. Yeah, Sherman is the most gentle giant ever.
No.
But Grant is our wild man. And so the day that he got out, Bunkie, he was running around like a little dog while we were an hour away, and I didn't know it. We came in the driveway and he comes running up the driveway like, hey, wiggling his tail.
Aww.
But had when they're all together, because we tried moving them all together as a herd.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
Not a good idea. They went in all different directions.
It would take them forever. You gotta move them one at a time. They're not like goats where they follow a herd. They're like...
No. And then you know what happens? They stop because they see the grass and they stop. And then you go to give one a little tap on the shoulder to get them moving, because we got the stick and kind of tapping them and moving them.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like, yep, no, I'm going to stand here. So, but.
So what date is it, Lisa, that you're expecting?
Eleanor is July 25th and August 7th for Fiona. So it's going to be busy because they were really close together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. The Fanatic Card Guru, my Jack Russell love for me to put him in the shower and bathe him.
No, it would be so cute if you just put ducks in the shower and then just let them play in it. Because they can swim.
A lot of people do that. I see on Instagram. They put their ducks in the tub and stuff.
I want to bring my ducks in the tub.
No.
I love my ducks.
Ducklings.
One person do it with geese. They would just follow and swim all over the place.
And Jeff at the Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla, when we had our other pigs processed, we had them processed by somebody. Our goal is to process the next ones ourselves. And the reason being is because there's no way we're going to get dates, because we've been trying to get dates since last August. So
Yeah, it is starting to get really crowded.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to get them.
yeah, and I've talked about it before when on our live streams that ranchers who use the same processing facilities every year here are now having to go across the state of South Dakota 4 and 5 hours away to find processing. So it's pretty crazy. Do you guys do meat chickens, girls?
Yes, we do. I'm planning to do at least 100 this year, and I'm ahead of schedule for my first batch. We're going to do like 20 per batch, and I'm going to be bringing like 25 to the butcher soon, like in a couple weeks. But as far as incubating is going, I'm very, very behind. One of our incubators, we had an egg blow. Twice. It happened twice. And
That
the
is
whole house sank like rotten eggs. We had to
Wow.
entire incubator, and we are way
Like,
behind.
it was just like the first time we were about to get ready for bed, and then it smells and no one knows why, so we were up for a while trying to clean that. The next time it was 6 a.m. and Dad had just gotten up.
Oh no.
I swear, when I first smelled it that one night, I thought Bunkie farted. I swear it was.
No.
It was bad.
The first time it was we were getting ready for bed and all that stuff. But then Dad heard like someone dropped from upstairs from a hole a book, a big heavy book, and dropped it on the floor. And he was like, "What was that noise?" Because it was loud.
So Dad and I were looking around, and then we were by the wood stove. I was like, "You smell that?"
They were there, and then they smelled it after they heard it. And then, so they started walking around, and Dad went by the incubators, and I was like, "Trey, this is what it is."
We had to wash out the entire incubator, and then now I'm really behind as far as eggs hatching goes. So we're actually probably going to buy some meat birds soon.
Yeah, she did.
And so
Yes, it was
So,
pretty behind.
from what I've seen in your videos, I think you've got, if I remember correctly, you try to have something like 60 eggs on the go at one time, and you've got maybe 4 tractors. You built the original one, and then you made, I think, another 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, I built 2 more. So we have 2 incubators going. I think that's about 60 eggs, right?
I think.
I think so. And then in our near the vineyard, we've got 3 tractors going with we keep our meat birds in there so that they can kind of free range, but like not lose any of them, and it protects them. We haven't had many issues with that. So I'm pretty good with how we were going, but then we fell behind with the incubation, and now gonna need to get more eggs if I want to achieve 100 chickens in the freezer.
So what meat birds are you raising? What breeds?
Okay, so
They're red.
Bunkie's tired. She's gonna pop out, but
That's fine. No problem.
yeah.
Good
But,
night, Bunkie.
Bunkie, she said goodnight. So I got red broiler chickens, and this is actually my third batch of actually trying meat birds.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bunkie.
Our first ones were The white ones, the weird ones.
Cornish?
Cornish, yes. We had Cornish crosses. And Mom doesn't like how they taste, but they had wishbones, which was kind of weird for chickens, so we just decided to not do those. And then the second year, the guy we got our pigs from gave us a bunch of chickens, and he said, I think these are Orpington chicks,
They
which
were
are
not
the egg
Orpingtons.
layers we get. I think these are Orpington chicks. If they're not, they might be Isa Browns.
They were
And
not.
no, they weren't. They weren't either. But we thought they were Isa Browns, and they were actually in my second chicken tractor video. But I thought they were Isa.
one.
We butchered them, but the feeder fell on one of them while I was trying to catch them. And that is Rojo, and he's the guardian of the barnyard
He walks
now.
around with the barnyard because we have like these cement mixers, so it's not like he got crushed. He just got covered with a cement mixer. So we're going out there trying to clean out the tractor the next day because it's now empty and there's a chicken there.
And then he was so scared. He just like walked around in a couple circles for a bit, trying to figure out where the rest of his group was. And then after that, he got really close with me, and then we put him in the garden to do rototilling in there. And every single time I went in there, Rojo comes running to see me. And then he follows me around. He's a very sweet chicken. He doesn't like anybody else, but he likes me.
Which is unfortunate because he lives in my barnyard and he hates me.
But he loves me. He'll let me pick him up, but he doesn't like it. He chases KayKay away.
And so what ones are you incubating to raise for meat? Because usually the meat birds, I don't know if I'm saying this right, and I may have my information wrong, but like the broad-breasted turkeys, those eggs are sterile. You can't incubate them. And I thought like the Cornish cross were the same. So tell me about your process for that.
Okay, so what we actually have is red broilers right now. We bought them, and we're not hatching red broilers. And Rojo's a red broiler too, which I recently found out. I thought he was an Isa Brown, but
okay,
we're actually not specifically hatching any meat birds from our incubators. We only have our Orpington hens laying out there. Orpingtons are what we're doing. And once they hatch, we're going to get them in the garage, get them growing. And once they're big enough, we're going to sort out the ones that we really like the friendly ones or the pretty ones that we want to do for breeding. And then the other ones are going to be butchered. And what we have going right now is we're breeding different colors, and most people aim for with Orpingtons, they're either going for buff, which are yellow, black, which are black, or lavender, which is the mix of the two, and they're silver, and we actually got some of them. But when we tried to breed lavenders, we got what we call lavender what we call Orpington splashes, which are more of like a red and black mix, and they're absolutely
very
gorgeous. So we're just sticking with that.
And another
Very
thing,
cool.
We specifically got Orpingtons because they're good meat birds, they're good layers, and they tend to do better in cold.
And they're docile. They won't attack people.
So
they're a multi-purpose chicken. So they work both.
That's wild because Lucy, the lavender Orpington that I have, you see the shorts of her. Lucy is she's all feathers.
she's the prettiest thing, though. I was watching that
gorgeous.
She looks like she has a petticoat on, and she's just so funny because she hangs out by the pig feed at night. And it's so funny because I go down there and she's the last one in because she's down there cleaning up the spilled pig feed. And the neighbors hear me calling. I'm like, "Come on, Lucy, come on." She comes running over.
Aw. The sweet bird.
And Rich, you just raised meat birds with Matt and Sarah, right?
Yep.
What breed were yours again?
They were the Cornish crosses. And that's where I was interested in the birds that you processed because, I don't know, I'd like to maybe make a tractor and just get 5 of them or so just to kind of try it for the first time. But I want some bigger birds. These ones seem to be in that 3 to 4 pound range, and I'd like something in the bigger range.
So we haven't really had any big meat birds, our Orpingtons or our Cornish cross. The Cornish crosses were actually pretty small. If you're going big, I'd go with turkeys.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What we found is last year, well, the first year we raised 16 Red Rangers, and they're more foraging. They're dual purpose birds, but they are meat. And so we raised 16 of them, very flavorful, nice birds, not overly huge, nice birds. Cost effective, but that was back when feed was cheaper in 2020. Then we did Cornish cross. We had ordered 30. And the thing that I don't like about the Cornish cross is I find that we lose a lot of chicks when they're little and they're very fragile. And that's a loss. You're losing per bird. But I know that one thing that we struggled with last year was we realized that we ended up having smaller Cornish cross birds because we only had one feeder. It was a very large feeder, but that's why we built a longer one this year. So this year, we had several Cornish cross chicks that passed away, and we were left with 2. We ended up getting some Royal Gray Broilers and some Red Rangers, but the Cornish cross, that's why we had a small batch, because the Cornish cross get to a point where they can't walk, and you got to do what you need to do. And so we did that, but they were 8.8 pounds and 9.2. So the Cornish cross, good night, Alicia, have a good evening. They will literally just stay by the feeder and not move.
Wow.
And they will eat themselves to death almost. And whereas the other breeds are more foraging and they'll walk around. So for me, Rich, it was more about having more feeders. And I will tell you this, I don't skimp on feed. I let them eat all they want. Some people will say 12 on, 12 off. If they get to that point where they're ready to go, then I process them. But I just let them eat.
Till they're ready.
Yeah, till they're ready. We did 12 on, 12 off with the Red Rangers. It got to the point where they were going to start laying eggs before we processed them, and it's too long having them here. So
we didn't have good luck with the Buff Orpingtons. That's why we moved 9 of them on to other people. As far as dual purpose, I don't know if they've got big enough breasts, for that, but they were great moms. They wanted to sit and hatch eggs all day, but they did not.
They're very good.
They get very broody very easily. We've got one, she's been broody for months, and I just keep taking her eggs, and she's just like, no, I'm staying here. And she's very stubborn about that.
We just moved them on to people who wanted broody hens, and actually we got a picture from one I put up on Instagram. She's a mom. She hatched 8 or so chicks and looks pretty happy. So she's doing what she can do.
It's always nice when they have their children because they look super happy when they do.
Yeah, they do. My female turkeys are still sitting on eggs.
Have you ever had any luck with hatching that?
I was curious about that.
No,
because here's the thing: we had Julius and we had Custer, and then we had Elizabeth and Beatrice. Elizabeth was sitting on eggs, sitting on the nest forever, and I threw 3 chicken eggs in there, and I marked it down on the calendar. I finally go in there to look. The chicken eggs are gone, and there's turkey eggs under her. Well, now I don't know when she laid those eggs. Well, then Julius was causing issues and walking on the females, stomping the eggs. So Julius was processed because he was causing issues in the coop, and everybody is real nice and calm now. Custer is walking around like he is the big man on campus. It's like when you have too many roosters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Custer's feathers are coming back in on the back of his neck. We really made a mistake. We should have did it a while ago.
Yeah.
And now the 2 girls are sitting in there on 2 eggs. So I think they're just going to sit there forever, and the eggs will just keep breaking. I don't even know what's going on in there.
Was Custer the father of the eggs, and that's why Julius was stomping, trying to get rid of the competition?
I think it was just 2 males in a short space, and we felt, well, they could take each other out easily, hurt each other, and they're not.
We've had issues. We had 2 Narragansett males and a Narragansett female, and one of the males did not make it because they're just
Grin got
Brutal.
just like
Really?
yes.
But we
he
also have an
actually-
issue with the females on their own because I can't tell if they're just eating spoiled eggs because they pick it up and walk away, but I can't tell if it's a spoiled
Oh
egg or
no,
a normal
that I
egg.
know what that is. So I don't know what it is, but I find it really fascinating. Mother Muscovies, I've seen it. I haven't seen it with a chicken, but I think they do it too. Mother runner ducks and mother turkeys, they can somehow tell when the egg has gone bad, like maybe it starts smelling or maybe it looks off, and then they peck a little hole in it, they pick it up, and then they carry it far away from the rest of the nest so that it doesn't like pollute the other eggs or make her home smell, and then she breaks it. If it's not too bad, she'll eat some of the yolk for nutrients, and then she'll eat the shell for calcium, but she brings it away so it doesn't attract anything to the rest of her nest.
Yeah.
Then she goes back right back over, pulls her eggs in, and she sits on them again. They can tell, and it's fascinating. But the issue with our turkeys is none of them, like, they've been sitting on these eggs forever, and none of them have hatched. We had this white turkey. She was sitting on a nest in our duck house because our midget whites, they go everywhere. They don't really care about the turkey pen. So that she was sitting on a nest in the duck pen. She hatched, I think it was 6 baby Muscovy ducklings and 0 turkeys. And then the Muscovy who had her own Muscovies hatch adopted her ducks. And she now only has this one duckling that will go back and forth between the Muscovy and the turkey.
That's crazy. That's exactly what's going on here, except no hatching, but it's the same thing with eggs. Like I found an egg out in the run.
I don't know if I've seen anyone who actually has turkeys that hatch their own eggs. They go broody, but I don't know if they hatch.
I don't know if it's just that like they're sterile and they can't hatch eggs, or if they don't spend enough time on their nest, or maybe they just don't produce enough body heat to keep the eggs enough, or maybe it's not moist enough and they need to be incubated. I think we should try incubating our own eggs just to see if it works.
I've incubated, and we had a 10 eggs the first hatch, and we had 8 out of 10 hatch, but then we lost 3.
Yeah.
Because turkeys are also pretty fragile, and then they get past that point and they're better. And then the second hatch, well, we knew that it was not going to be good. But my girls are sitting on the eggs. The 2 of them are sitting on the eggs most of the time. They come out and walk out and stretch their legs and go back in.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
We've got some pretty confusing birds here. We've got 3 ducks sitting on turkey eggs in the turkey pen, and we've got 2 white turkeys sitting on duck eggs in the duck pen. So I don't think they really know what species they are. Hello, I thought you went to bed.
Hi, Bunkie.
That was
Mr.
a short nap.
Duck, funny.
Bunky sleepwalking.
Yeah.
They're not sitting on golf balls. They're I checked.
So Rich, what a lot of people like the Freedom Rangers.
Okay.
A lot of people go crazy for them, saying that they're flavorful, they're nice sized birds, but you have to get them from a specific hatchery. I can't remember who owns that name. So, for example, like I was saying earlier, we had Red Rangers, which is from one. Then there was Rudd Rangers from another. And now there's the Royal Grey Broilers, which I never heard of. But I will say this, the Royal Grey Broilers were, the 2 that we processed were 6.15 and 6.08, which is still a pretty decent size.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to have more flavor and more equal size breast meat in addition to thigh and drumstick meat.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Cornish cross is all about raising a chicken that looks like it's on steroids. That's what attracts people to them.
Yeah.
Well, and it's another project for the summer, so we'll see if we get to it this year. But just the February challenge has pointed out how poorly we are set up for protein. So where the ladies were talking about, kind of having the total package there with all the animals and the garden, we're very garden heavy and egg laying chicken heavy. But as far as getting other protein, rabbit, meat, chickens, hogs, any of that, we're not very, if we were looking at being independent food, we're not there yet. So
you could also try beans if you're trying to intentionally lean away from that. I know beans are heavy in protein, and there's other vegetables that are very protein heavy that would help.
Yep. And we've got 60 feet of beans, so we're good on that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Daz, I cut you off.
No, I was just agreeing. Sorry. One thing, Lisa Capone Cabin had a question, just up a little bit.
Sorry.
But yeah, I'm in a situation where I'm in country Victoria, Australia, and outside a small town, but we're still under regulations where I can only have 6 chickens. I can't raise meat birds. I can't have pigs. And so yeah, it was a really good point that the ladies made where I'll can meats, proteins here, and store them away. But yeah, I think about things like beans and stuff like that when I grow here, and yeah, it's very hard. I love living here, and I don't regret choosing this over a farm we looked at. But it's very hard sometimes to listen to everyone talk about meat birds and stuff like that. And
So do you have 6 chickens then?
yeah, well, I've got 7. Shh. Yeah, so yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that's as far as I can go. So yeah, I would love to have meat birds, and I'm always watching videos, and yeah, I'd love to have something happening here. And to be honest, I'd probably get away with it. And my neighbors are good, but yeah, maybe it's yeah, we'll see.
Gonna do the right thing.
Or you could just raise them in your basement.
50 chickens in your basement.
Oh,
Actually,
birds no less. Oh,
Maybe it'll smell a little bit, but still,
A little bit.
it'll be worth it.
No.
stink.
ladies, basements aren't a thing here in Australia.
Raise them in your closet or your bathroom, and they can have like a bathtub.
In the I'll just tell the kids to go outside, and I'll just hose the kids down, and I'll use the bathroom instead for my
There
birds.
Yeah.
Right, the bathroom is reserved for the chickens. You can use the hose.
Well, I'm
I
very
wanted-
lucky. Sorry, Lisa.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say I'm very lucky. We've got an absolute abundance of kangaroos around here. So if oh yeah, oh cute, but if times got tough, yum yum.
So I want to get to Kristen at Capone Cabin's question, but Rich, Devil Dog wants to know how many chickens you have.
The ones that are 1 to 2 years old that are laying right now, we have 43 of them. And then there are 40 that are 2 months old right now. So and some of them, I mean, they lay year round. So we're going to be thinning the herd a little bit come fall. I want to go into winter with the size of our barn and all that. I want to go in with 60 birds. So 24 are going to become stock chickens or
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So Capone Cabin, Kristen asked, why do people use incubators versus letting nature take its course, so to speak? I will speak for myself, but my turkey saga, they just keep breaking eggs and nothing ever happens. And then all my girls in the coop, I've never had a broody hen in the over 2 years that we've had them. And we now have one that I don't even know if she's broody because she's sitting there. She don't even have an egg, but she just sits there. I think she likes it in the nest. I don't know that she's necessarily broody, but quite honestly, I do the incubator to make sure that I have an outcome, because it's not reliable. If I had a reliable hen that would be a good mama and sit on them, I'd let her do it. That was my goal the whole time. But when I'm raising meat birds, like for the turkeys, if I get to a certain point, say July, well, I'm not going to have a Thanksgiving dinner. If that makes sense, right? Because our goal is to grow during the warm season because it's easier with water, easier with feed, because once we go into the winter, we have to then run water heaters and all that. In fact, Ryan was saying we got our electric bill today and it was so low. And the two of us were talking about it and we realized it's because we finally stopped running heat in the past month. We finally stopped running water heaters. We do that stuff the majority of the year. So how about you guys for incubators? Like I know you girls, why would you use incubators versus having the mama do it?
So we do have our chickens get broody a lot. I talked about Banana a bit ago. She likes to be broody, and you were saying you don't know if she's broody. You can tell if they're broody. Their feathers get ruffled, and if you try to remove them from their nest, they keep their feathers ruffled, and they're not very nice to the other hens. They just kind of like peck at their beaks a little bit and then try to get back to their place. But so with our ducks, I like to let the Muscovies do their thing and hatch their own eggs because they are incredible mothers. And I have the Muscovies will protect their children, they will defend their children, and they won't let anything come and hurt their children. And whereas the chickens, for one, other chickens around them will be a little bit aggressive. So like the rooster or some of the other hens that, I don't know, they're just kind of moody, they will hurt their children. And I don't want to end up with chickens that are killing baby chickens. Yeah. And so I would rather hatch my own chickens and even my own runner ducks. If I want to have a outdoor bird hatch my birds, I will put a chicken egg, I'll take some runner duck eggs, and I will put them under a Muscovy because not only are the Muscovies great mothers, they're also great foster mothers. They will take in another egg.
And another thing just to add on to that, Ms. Lisa was saying something about making sure it's reliable. And this even goes like assuming that the other birds would make sure that they actually hatch the egg. I've noticed that they're not very great with protecting their herd. And plus, we live in an area where it still gets cold at night, well into the June months. And so if they're like a day or so old, they're not going to make it through the night. And if they are hatched by their mothers, you're never going to get them.
Yeah.
So for us, it's
point.
The incubator because we can defend them inside in the garage. We can wean them to the outdoors.
That's a really great point. Yeah. I really like that.
And especially if you've got here. Go ahead.
I was going to say you confirmed that I do have a broody right now. She doesn't peck at me. She clearly growls at me. I think it's funny. I pick her up and take her out, and she's pretty.
I love
good.
That growling. Oh, sorry.
I do too. She gets all puffed up and she's like, and I'm like,
the puffing gives it away.
Yeah, and I'm like, I took the egg out from under you. You're not sitting on anything, so come on, get out.
She doesn't care. Like this one hen, she like when they're broody, they actually stop laying eggs for a bit because they're using all of their energy to keep their eggs warm and moist so that they can incubate them. So they won't lay eggs.
I mean, they will.
But this one, for a bit, like until they have an established good nest, they'll still lay eggs. But after that, you can wait until they hatch their babies.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I've got from when we lost our flock, we have about 11 eggs in our incubator, and we've got about, I think, 11 or 12 days left on our barnyard mixes to hatch. And it's funny because I don't need her being broody now. Like, you know what I mean? Because if all 11 hatch, I've got enough. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean?
You've also got to be careful with broody hens because any broody animal would rather keep their eggs incubated than take care of themselves. So like I have to go in and I've got to take that broody hen out every now and then because she's not laying on anything, so it doesn't really matter. I've got to take her out and I got to put her in with the other hen so that she will, like, while she's there, she's smart enough to grab some water and snag some food while she's there, and then she'll go back to her nest. But they're not going to get up and get food and water on their own most of the time. So by the time their chicks hatch, they're going to be a little thinner than they should be.
Yep.
And that's not.
And like the color of their feathers too.
And I think to drain. I think it's because of that. The one that's sitting on her eggs, her eyebrows have kind of gone down. And so whenever I go in there, she looks like she's glaring at me. She's like,
yeah.
Why are you taking my eggs again? She just looks so funny.
It's funny. It's funny because she's definitely broody. And it's true because I take her out of the nest every day. The turkey woman, on the other hand, she comes out, walks around, stretches her legs, and goes back in. But I just realized we are at time. Like it flew by so fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any last words, Rich? How about for you?
No, it's been fun kind of meeting. I've watched videos, but meeting the ladies there, thank you for, you guys have, like Dad said, a ton of knowledge. I hope you're getting a great following of youth that, will listen to you and you can kind of turn them on to all the different things with the different aspects of farming. You guys are doing a great job and got so much knowledge. So it's been fun just kind of sitting there listening.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my kids was actually in chat earlier. I didn't say anything, but yeah, they were in here. And we've watched quite a few of the girls' videos together. So, but it's just, I don't want to keep on making a big deal about it, but you ladies are so knowledgeable and you have so much going on. And I've got to remember that you've also, you need an education. You've got to do schoolwork as well. And I don't know, if you're not, I guess, doing schoolwork, you're, I guess, doing music lessons, or I assume you do music lessons? Do you do music lessons?
So technically the videos are part of our school. And so, like, whenever we ask mom and dad to come into the videos, they're like, we can't help you with your homework. So we do have, like, we have professionally taught main core, like history, science, math, English. I always forget the one I don't like. We need 4 that are taught by our teachers in a school. And then they have professional music lessons where I'm kind of more self-taught, but we do have professional music lessons. That's so cool about
Trey is that she's good enough with her percussion that she's done everything herself or via YouTube video to figure out how to play cutlery. She's done amazingly with that. And we all kind of take care of a different aspect. So our weekly music videos, or our weekly our midweek videos, I'm sorry, I'm not coherent. Our midweek videos are usually just like updates on our farm, just to show what we're learning, how our farm is changing. And then we have our music video every week because all of us are kind of
musically inclined.
We enjoy music. We enjoy spending time together to do that.
Right.
So we do. And it's also helping with skills, like doing lives, which is a pain in the neck for me.
KayKay gets very stressed out, but it's good social skill teaching for us because we're quarantining and we don't get much of that. So this is very helpful for us with that. And then we're learning more engineering and technology skills, which will be helpful in the future because of how, like, everything is improving as far as technology goes at such a rapid rate. And then we're also able to squeeze music into this. And then our science projects, like Bunkie's doing plant science, KayKay's doing like factual goat stuff, I think.
Yeah, and we've kind of laid off on doing that recently because school is picking up. Trey's going to be starting high school next year. I'm working on a project with a college professor, so I haven't really been doing much with the farm as far as new projects go. But I mean, go back to 7th grade. I was a year younger than Trey. I was doing a hypothesis project on duck breeding. Like, our farm life has always been a very critical part of our education.
And I just want to mention that we haven't been getting to all of the comments that we want to be getting to on our channel because, like, start of the month and last month we had finals just like after one another, trying to get our grades up, trying to make sure we have everything done in time for our actual teachers that are like in part of an actual school, even though we're doing it from home. It's online curriculum, but we've got to make sure we've got all of that done, and then we have finals, and on top of that we still have to take care of our animals every morning. And we've got to do videos, and so we're really sorry if we haven't been watching your videos and commenting. We do need to get up to that. We're like 2 to 3 weeks behind on comments, at least. And then my channel, I haven't even looked at that, but I'm sure I've got like maybe 3 comments.
I let it get to a point where it's like ridiculous before I even look at them.
And she won't let anybody else do her comments for her because she's like grammatically correct 24/7 and we're not.
Well, ladies, never apologize, okay? Because life always comes first. You're also in school and doing all that, and you know, you have your animals, you have your priorities with your family, with yourselves, with your everything. And just like we have priorities with our families, we all can't live on YouTube. So don't ever apologize for that. You know, I mean, it's life, and this is the busy time of year for all of us.
Yeah.
So that's reality. So
And just remember, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, just remember, don't let YouTube stress you out. If you can't do comments, bad luck. That's the way it goes. You just enjoy yourselves. And if you've got the time to share and teach and everything that you do, good on you. We're all proud of you and we appreciate you so much. And just hopefully, you know, it doesn't get on top of you and feel like a chore or anything like that, because you're great. Good on you.
Absolutely. Well, we are way over, so I know that it's late by you guys, and you have been very gracious, and it's probably past Rich's bedtime.
I gotta get up early and weed.
Holly's got the sauerkraut made already.
Yeah. Oh, it smells so good in here.
I would like to thank all of you for coming on tonight. I found it to be an incredible conversation that just flowed, because here we are over 2 hours and I'm like, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
This is probably like the most like smooth running live we've ever done.
Oh, well, I just want to. Well, thank you. And I thank you for being here. And I know that we've had conversations, and age differences don't matter. We see you as equals. I want you guys to know that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you to Rich at the Old Sweets Farm for being here, and Holly as well, who made her cameo. And thank you to Daz at My Aussie Garden and Kitchen. And thank you to everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful, beautiful weekend, and have a great night.
You too.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye,
Thank
Rich,
you,
Lisa, ladies.
Yes.
Chat.
Take care, ladies.
Bye,
Good night.
everybody.
See you later.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.